Enforcement Directorate and Arvind Kejriwal, after months and months of facing off, levelling charges, making allegations, there appears to be a sudden concern expressed by Enforcement Directorate for the health and well-being of the Delhi Chief Minister, and particularly what he's being fed, what he's eating behind bars in Tihar jail. So why this sudden concern by the Enforcement Directorate for the well-being of Arvind Kejriwal? What does Kejriwal have to say about it? And is this a question that deserves to be qualified, that deserves to be decided in a court of law? Now, we were witness to some interesting court proceedings today, ranging from the comical to the bizarre. Now, all of this began yesterday when the Enforcement Directorate raised the question as to what Arvind Kejriwal is eating. Here, the Enforcement Directorate flagged the concern that they're concerned about the sugar levels of the Delhi Chief Minister. The counsel for the ED argued that the ED believes that Arvind Kejriwal has been eating mangoes, he's been eating sweets and adding sugar to his tea, and that the ED believes will lead to a spike in sugar levels. The ED argued that this is a pointed, concerted strategy being followed by Arvind Kejriwal to cause this spike and then to use this spike in sugar levels as a grounds for seeking release from jail, for seeking bail. Now, this is something that Arvind Kejriwal responded to today through his counsels before the trial court. Number one, an application was filed by the Delhi Chief Minister where he's essentially talking about an insulin reversal program initiated in February prior to the date of the arrest, and that for this insulin reduction program, he has requested the trial court for a daily visit by the doctor. That's the application pending before the trial court. But in the midst of this application, an interesting exchange took place. Frustration being expressed by Arvind Kejriwal's team as to why questions are being raised about what he's eating. At one point, his counsel even remarked that if not mangoes, should he be eating mushrooms? The question that Abhishek Manu Singhvi raised before the trial court is that never before has there been such detailed scrutiny about the diet chart of an accused under the PMLA in independent India. He further went on to say that this approach taken by the ED is petty, is ridiculous and is malicious, and that information is being leaked about what he's been eating, particularly to target him in the media. Now, as far as the mango question is concerned, Abhishek Manu Singhvi clarified that on 48 days, he's received 48 meals rather, home-cooked meals. Of them, only 3 had mangoes. That mangoes have been made out to be some kind of sugar bullet, that mangoes in fact carry lesser sugar than rice. And in fact, going on to say that, speaking of diversions, he also confessed rather before the trial court to having had aloo puri, and that's during the time of Navratri. These are the only 2 diversions, 3 cases of eating mangoes and 1 case of eating aloo puri, and this is something that the ED had taken objection to. Not just the ED, the jail authorities were also present in court. They submitted their own report and said that they've sought expert advice from AIIMS, and that no sane thinking doctor will allow him to eat mangoes. And not just mangoes, there should also be restrictions on bananas and chikus. So that is something that the jail authorities now have taken objection to, not just mangoes but also bananas and chikus. So at the end of it all, this hearing lasted about 30 odd minutes. The trial court now has decided to take time over the weekend to decide on what the course of action should be with respect to the diet chart that Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, needs to follow. The order on that after this weekend of deliberation will be given to the public on Monday. That's when the trial court will give clarity, will pronounce its orders.